Hey everyone, I'm excited to share the second part of my conversation with Jed Mackin with you today, where we pick up where we left off the last time, crossing the metaphorical street between so called balanced and so called positive reinforcement neighborhoods.
Yeah, I didn't have my camera turned on. I was playing with my dog. So,
Always good.
yeah.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Having my third coffee of the morning, so it's getting dangerous. um, who's your dog? I don't even know who your dog is.
Her name is her name is Hella. Hella, come here. Come on. Oh,
Oh, very cute.
yep.
Hella
Okay.
cute.
Go
Yeah.
on off. Okay, enough. Enough. Easy. She never gets up on the couch, so she's all freaked out now. Oh.
Oh, I apologize for ruining the
No, no,
introduction.
it's fine. Like I do it once in a while, but it's a rare thing. And so
Yeah.
she gets really excited when I do. So,
Yeah, I of course have the opposite problem. I always let them up on the furniture, and every once in a while I'm somewhere where you really can't go on the furniture.
mhm.
And they are very disappointed. The eyes.
Yeah.
How dare I?
Yeah, so I just try not to like I just don't it's one of those things that I don't have a problem with dogs on furniture. It's not like a dominance thing or this is mine or anything like that. It's just I don't like it when dogs presume something is okay.
Yeah,
And so anything that I don't want them doing on their own, I just make invitation only and I give those invitations very rarely.
yeah,
Because there are times where I don't need a dog on the couch. There's like you said, there's times where it's just not acceptable,
yeah.
and I don't take her to many places, so that's not an issue. But I will say that um I had a friend in high school named Larry, and Larry had this cattle dog, really old cattle dog. I can't remember her name to save my life, but first time I went to Larry's house, I walked into his bedroom, and the smell of just urine just hit me
Oh
like a
no.
ball.
Yeah,
And he goes, "Man, I apologize for the smell, but my dog is really old and she can't hold her bladder anymore." And I'm like, "Okay, I got it. I got it right." He goes, "And the problem is that she mostly leaks when she sleeps."
oh yeah, that is not, I would not, that, yeah, I would not want
And
that dog on my couch.
and he's well, he said, and she slept in my bed her whole life. And now
Oh,
that she's old, I can't kick her off my bed because it's like she's dying. I can't.
yeah,
So this dude loved his dog so much he was willing to sleep in dog urine to keep his dog happy.
yeah,
And I that hit me with equal parts admiration and uh
yeah,
aversion.
that's, yes, yeah,
Like I'm like I couldn't do that. So my solution was I'm never gonna get my dog used to being on the furniture, so I don't have to take that away from them when they get
yeah,
old. Like and
yeah.
that's my driving.
Yeah, yeah, no, totally. I mean, that is completely off the topic that we were going to talk about, but it's an interesting point. And I mean, I think if that happens, I will take that privilege away from my dogs.
Hmm.
Um, but I think the main reason that for me the default is you're allowed on the couch is that for the last couple of years I've lived in tiny apartments. And
Hmm.
there's so little space for the dogs anyways that
Hmm.
I don't want to reduce it further by taking away the furniture too, right? So it's really mostly pragmatic. If I had a house in a huge yard, I don't think I would be like, sure, go be on the couch all the time because I've like no reason. But if it's
Hmm.
like um 30 square meters, and the bed, I don't know how many, it's like, is it 4 square meters? Like that is like the percentage of space that I'm taking away by taking away the
Hmm.
bed and the couch is more relevant if the entire
Hmm.
space that you have is smaller, right?
Right.
Anyways, so the last time we left off talking about the street with
Uh-huh.
houses on two sides, and that was this metaphor for like the one neighborhood is the, for example, so-called force-free neighborhood, and the other neighborhood that starts right on the other side of the street is the so-called balanced neighborhood. The
Hmm.
labels being I mean, ridiculous anyways, but for the sake of having a shorthand. And and I had realized how difficult it was to cross the street from the so-called force-free side to the balanced side. And then you mentioned that you had done the opposite, and that was also difficult and more nuanced, and maybe in some ways more interesting. So tell us about your experience crossing the street.
Yeah, so I mean, and I want to say that I haven't left balance behind. I still, yesterday I literally I had to do something I haven't done. I don't remember how long it's been since I've done, but I actually had to pin a dog yesterday, right? And it's not like some Caesar Milan dominance bullshit that I'm gonna put the dog in the place. This dog was basically about a year and a half old, but a Pyrenees mix. So at least 80 pounds, probably more. And the dog was just a giant puppy with no impulse control. And the dog would jump up and parkour off of me. Like, I'm trying to talk to the owner and he would hit me in the back. Like I'm up by my shoulder blades. I'm not a small guy. I'm 6'3". So this dog was leaping. So he hit kind of in my shoulder blades and it would like knock me off balance. And I had tried ignoring it. I had tried, kind of guiding him with the leash. But if I stopped looking at him to talk to his owner, which is part of my job, he would get frustrated and just bounce off of me. And he wasn't being mean about it. He wasn't trying to hurt me. He was trying to get me to react, right? He wanted me to play with him. He didn't had no tolerance for boredom. And so eventually I kind of tried to step through him. It's a real old balance technique for jumping up is stepping through the dog. And it's usually pretty effective. It's not my favorite technique, but it's one of those that I keep in my back pocket for those dogs where nothing else seems to be effective, right? So uh I stepped through him and he kind of fell down and he kind of fell on his back and and I tried that a few times, but he would just hit his back and immediately pop over. Um and so then I just tried to kind of hold him down on the ground for a little bit. Not again, not hard pressure, not like you're in trouble, just like, hey, settle down a little bit. Well, he flipped out. He flipped out at just that little bit of restraint, just like he was never offered to bite me. There was no aggression this whatsoever, but he was flailing around. Like I don't know if he was trying to play or if he was genuinely panicked by this, but I'm like, I've got to deal with this now, right? This is a problem.
Yeah.
Um, and so I eventually ended up, getting down on the ground with him and putting my chest against his ribs and I used to be a dominance-based trainer, so I got very good at pinning dogs when that was my goal. Like
Hmm.
because at that time, every dog I trained got pinned. Like that was just like that's what you do, right? And which by the way, for anybody listening, that's a stupid fucking tactic. Don't do that. Like it's not doing what you think it's doing. If you're stuck in that dominance model, that's not what you're not doing what you think you're doing. And it's dangerous and it's easy to get bit, and you don't want your clients to do it. Like all the usual caveats. Like this is not necessarily a responsible training technique to dominate dogs, but sometimes restraining a dog and having them hold still is valuable. And sometimes it's just husbandry, like you got to trim their nails, or you know, you got to inspect the wound or like there are times that medically or behaviorally it's necessary to restrain a dog while you do something and so that is a good skill to develop and because I was a dumb trainer who did dumb things a lot I got very good at this skill of restraining dogs who didn't want to be restrained um
Not a bad skill to
but
have.
no it's not a bad skill to have but it's like breaking up dog fights it's a great skill to
Yeah, it's
have
a great skill
but
to have. Like ideally you won't use it or you won't need
yeah
it, but it's good to have if you need it. Yeah.
it's a great skill to have but it's a terrible skill to acquire right
And
is
a
the
terrible
problem.
skill to need. Yeah. But
Yeah,
it is not.
but so anyway, he settled down real quickly, and then I took all the pressure off him, and he just laid there while I petted him. Not a big deal, but that's not a force-free technique at all. That's not something that force-free trainers would go, yeah, I do that all the time. Like
Yeah.
they probably some force-free trainers would be clutching their pearls if they saw that. Uh, not the more centered ones, but you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
um. If I feel like if I did that in front of some of the force-free trainers I'm friends with, they'd ask me questions about it. They wouldn't go, "That's terrible." They would
Yeah,
go, "Why did you do that? How did that work?" That actually seemed to work pretty good, and the dog seems to be fine afterwards. Telling me about like, but a lot of them would be like, "Oh, anyway." So the point is, I still use leash corrections. I recommended this guy. I told him, I asked him if he thought about a prong collar, because again, he is an old man. The dog is a lot of, and he made great progress with this dog. Don't get me wrong, he made great progress with this dog in the lesson, but he's older. He's got a young dog who's really big and really exuberant, and he's struggling to walk the dog. Now, he left feeling great about his walks, but as well as I do, that just because they do great in the session with you coaching them doesn't mean they're going to do great at home. And so I asked him if he thought about a prong collar. He's like, "Well, I have one. I just don't really want to use it." And I'm like, "Don't be afraid to use it. Like, just like use it the same way we're using the leash."
yeah.
So, but I have a long time ago, I made a post. I made a post on an old trainer's email group before social media. We had these email groups, right?
I
And
remember, I even remember the end of, what is it? The clicker, Yahoo. Uh,
Yahoo groups.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So I made the comment that I love dogs, and because I love dogs, I never want to do anything unpleasant to them if I don't have to. And so if I could train dogs to the level of reliability that my clients need them to be, without ever causing them an ounce of displeasure or discomfort or disappointment, I would surely do that.
yeah.
And I think any good trainer,
Would
if
it
you
do it?
frame it that way, do you
Yeah, of
want to
course.
cause dogs unnecessary discomfort? Any good trainer would say, no, I don't,
Of course, yeah.
right? But the problem is that's a theory, not a practice. And in practice, what happens is, the old saying, if all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail,
Yeah.
right? Now, don't get me wrong, but modern balance trainers have a lot of tools at their disposal that are, they understand reinforcement schedules, they understand play, they understand drive, they understand how to build a dog up, and that's why you can get these amazing, flashy obedience dogs, you don't train a dog like Ivan if you don't understand motivation and reinforcement and
Exactly.
how to make the dog feel good about shit, right? Like I'm not saying they don't, but there is a mindset in the balance community that is very defensive about using aversive techniques.
Hmm.
And so I'm going to take a step to the side for a minute, but I'll come back, I promise, right? Um, there's this book called Mistakes Were Made, but Not by Me. Um,
Good title.
and
Yeah.
it's a really good book about human behavior. And what it's doing is it's sort of looking at the ways we excuse our own misbehavior or the misbehavior of our own tribe while holding others and other tribes to a higher standard,
Hmm.
right? And one of the examples they give in the book is that if you take two college students who are um, morally neutral about academic cheating. I have to say academic cheating because when I say that, everyone thinks I mean relationship cheating. Like every time I've told the story without saying like, but academic cheating, they're morally neutral about it. Like I wouldn't do it, but I don't think it's that big a deal, right? That sort of thing, right?
Hmm.
And then you put them in an experiment where both have an opportunity to cheat to advance their right. One of them chooses to cheat and the other doesn't,
Hmm.
right? Now you interview them in 2, 3 months, and their opinion of cheating has changed.
Hmm.
The one who cheated is like, it's no big deal. No, but everybody does it anyway. Cheating, learning how to cheat is part of development to survive in this world because people
Uh-huh.
cheat in this world, right? And the person who didn't cheat is like, that is the lowest form of human life. People who cheat on tests are terrible, right? Like, and it's because the theory is that both of them risked something to take a stand. They made a moral decision and they risked something. They put something at stake in that moral stand. The one who cheated put his academic career, in jeopardy because if he got caught,
Yeah.
right? And the one who didn't cheat risked their grade
Yeah.
by not cheating. And so once you make that sort of commitment, and that commitment costs you something or has
Yeah.
the potential to cost you something, you double down on it. You become much more committed to it.
Yeah, it kind of becomes part of your identity, maybe. It depends, well,
Yes,
yeah.
exactly. So, and then the other part of that is the us and them dynamic, right? Like, so the book also gives this other example that I love. There were two authors who wrote the book, and one of them had a little girl who was going to school for the first time, right? First day of school, and she comes back from school, and what did you learn at school today? And she goes, I learned that boys are crybabies. And he goes, "What do you mean?" And he goes, she goes, "Well, some of the boys they were crying because they missed their mommies in the morning. They didn't want to go." And so he goes, "Were any of the girls crying too?" He goes, "Yeah, but not that many of them." Right? So already at the age of 5, there's a us group and an out and a them group, and the us is weird nuance. Some of us cry, but most of us didn't. Some of the boys cried, and that's representative of how weak boys are.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and so this is hardwired into us. So you put those two things together. We definitely have us's and them's in dog training. And for most dog trainers, not for me, but for most dog trainers, the us's are either balanced or force free, and the them's are the force free or the balanced, whatever the opposite one is, right? And there's a hard line there, like you are in the other group and therefore you are less than or whatever. And now the cost of admission to the balance group is that you have to be okay with using physical corrections. You have to okay with aversive techniques. And the cost of admission into the force free group is I am not allowed to use
Yeah.
these things. I'm morally opposed to these things. Now, the thing that makes you different from another group, that's what's going to define you,
Yeah.
right? If I join a tall person's club, what's going to define me, get me in that group is my height.
Yeah.
And therefore, anybody who doesn't have the height is different than me,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And if I really make that my identity, I'm a tall person, then I'm going to eventually start to think that tall people are more important than short people, right?
Depending on who you are, you might, yeah. But yes, like, I mean, you might also eventually start thinking that, oh, like tall people have like random advantages. That is a
Yeah,
problem. And you might, yeah, like that depends on who you are. But yes, yeah, it is
yeah,
going to become something you think about
yeah.
and
But it becomes
integrate in your
part.
daily life. Yes.
Yes, and so, but that's that. What happens is that thing becomes exaggerated. I'm gonna own tall person mugs. I'm gonna read books about tall people. I'm gonna go to events for tall people. I'm going to, you know what I'm saying? Like if that becomes part, like take The Simpsons for example. Ned Flanders has a store for left-handed people,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Right? And being someone who is, I'm actually what they call mixed-handed. I write with my left hand, but I do everything else with my right hand.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, it affects about 1% of the population. And I learned that from Stanley Coren, who is a very popular dog writer, but
Mhm.
also an expert on handedness. Uh,
Totally. That is a very interesting intersection.
yeah. Well, he's a psychologist,
Ah,
right?
uh,
But he also was raised around dog shows and stuff. So he writes about dogs. He applies his psychology information to dogs. And he was presenting at a conference, and I was his chaperone for the conference, the guy to make sure he got where he was supposed to go and everything. And over breakfast, he mentioned that he was an expert on handedness. And I'm like, oh, well, I have this interesting. And he's like, oh, you're actually what's called mixed handedness. People
mm.
think I'm ambidextrous, but that's not true. I can't write with both hands. I can only write with my left hand,
Oh, interesting.
right?
Ambidextrous
Ambid,
means they're kind of equally
yeah,
they can
exactly.
write with both hands, for example. Yeah.
Yeah, so most people are either have a dominant hand or they're ambidextrous. 1% of the population is mixed handedness, about 1%. So
Yeah.
I'm 1 in 100 in that. But it caused some confusion growing up because like everyone told me I was left-handed, and then I would, try and do things in the left-handed way, but I did everything else in the right-handed way,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? If you're left-handed, you're gonna hold your baseball bat like this. This doesn't feel right. Switch
Yeah.
it. That feels better. Well, you said you're left-handed. Well, my teachers told me I was left-handed. Like I don't know. Like I
Yeah. And like,
just
I mean, you're a kid, right? So you're like, well, this person
yeah.
is a grown up and probably knows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, so rabbit hole number 4, I think already. But what happens though is that if balance trainers define themselves by their willingness to use aversives, that does a couple of things. Number one, it sort of minimizes, like I put out just a video the other day. I think that too many balance trainers are too casual about using aversive techniques.
Hmm.
Like you just see it, you can see it in the comment section. Just give that dog a correction,
Hmm.
right? And it's not nothing more than that. Like there's a shorthand that they assume the listener understands what a good correction in that moment is going to look like, how it's going to be delivered, what tool you're going to use to deliver it, the intensity, the timing, the direction, the aftercare, if you will, right? Like what do you like how do you prep the dog for this? How do you take
Yeah,
care of the
what does
dog
it mean?
afterward?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like they just go, just give that dog a correction as if that's a fully formed thought and instruction.
Hmm.
And it's only fully formed. Like, so like if Jay were to say, yeah, I just give that dog a correction.
You know what Jay means.
To me, I would go, he knows that I know what I'm doing
Yeah.
and he doesn't have to fill in those blanks. But if I said that to just a client, for example,
Yeah.
they don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Like, even if I say give them a leash pop or
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah.
like
And
there's
the
so
dangerous part though is that they may believe that they know what you mean.
yes,
So they
they
don't
will
know to
think.
ask. Yeah.
I'm not even say they may. They nine times like it is likely
Hmm.
that they will assume they know what I mean. You know what I'm saying? Like how many people come in and they say like again, we get people all the time. They're like, I've tried everything. Leash corrections don't work. I've tried a prong collar. I've tried, a shock collar, and nothing works. And I'm like, yeah, but you haven't tried learning about dog training.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right, right, right,
Yeah.
right. I don't say that out loud, but hey, Hella, no, ma'am. She's licking her feet. She has allergies and she will lick them until she can't walk on them anymore.
Oh no. Yeah.
Yeah. She has to wear a cone when I can't watch her.
Is
Um,
it year round or is it seasonal?
it's pretty much year round. I think I don't know. I'm not sure. It just started about 5 or 6 months ago. I got her out of her crate in the morning and she wasn't walking on it. I rushed her to the to the
Yeah.
to the vet and they're like it's allergies and boy, allergies in dogs are really hard to deal with.
Yeah.
Because all the only two drugs they really have right now that are really proven to be effective are both pretty expensive and pretty rough on them physically. Like I
Oh,
think
so
like Apoquel has a lot of it's Apoquel's hard on the body and nobody really likes using it, but it's great for allergies. And Cytopoint is a little bit better, has a little bit fewer side effects and whatnot, but it's more expensive and you have to go to the vet to get a shot. And
yeah, like
you
I
can't you
luckily I
can't
haven't had to deal with that myself. Like I
yeah.
once had a dog with suspected food allergies and I did like
Mm,
this elimination diet and
uh-huh.
it turned out to seem to be chicken.
Mm,
She was the white standard poodle, so she would like chew on herself because she was itchy and because of the enzymes in the saliva, like she would turn from any like all her white fur would
mm,
become like brown because the
yeah, I get
saliva
right.
like colors it and she would like look so funny with these spots.
Yeah.
And like a year later, I tried giving her chicken again and it was gone away. So I wonder if that ever was an allergy or it was just something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like the problem with dogs is inhalant allergies present as skin conditions. So we see dogs with skin conditions and we think that's something they're coming in contact with.
Yeah.
The next thing
Yeah.
is something they're eating, but it's also could be something they're inhaling because
Yeah.
they don't get like hay fever like we do, right? Like
Yeah. It is.
so I don't
Yeah.
know. But anyway, I have to just watch her. So like she's pretty good about if she was more like if she was uh, significantly more uncomfortable with it, I would have her on meds for it,
Yeah.
right? But because she seems to be able to manage pretty good most of the time without it, I don't think the cost,
Yeah.
not the financial cost, but the health costs of the meds
Yeah.
are justified. You got to balance quality of life versus quantity of
For
life,
sure.
and and
Yeah.
and and her quality of life is not bad. She's an exceptionally happy dog, so I'm not too
Yeah.
worried about it. But she will worry her paws if I allow her to. Anyway,
Anyways,
so
fingers crossed that the same thing happens to her that happened to my standard poodle, where like it just went away again. And I
yeah.
guess, yeah, whatever it was, doesn't matter. Uh,
Hmm.
not wearing counts is fun. So,
Yeah, no, I got shampoos and topicals for her and things that seem to be helping. And I've got some herbal something or other that seems to be helping too. But mostly it's just I gotta keep her from licking. Hey, enough. She's really restless this morning though. She's really restless this morning. Anyway,
That couch.
so huh?
That couch I made you put her on.
Yeah, no, it was already before that. That's why I was playing with her before we started the call because I figured I'd get it out of her system before we started. Um, but anyway, so the issue is that as I've started to explore more force-free approaches, more food-based or reward-based approaches, like there's a common myth, I'm going to call it a myth in the balance community that is spoken as a truism. And there's a lot of these. The balance community has a lot of these. Like,
That was the first, like
get what
all, yeah. The dog
you get what
community
you
has a lot of these, yeah.
yeah, you get what you pat. What you tolerate will continue. What you allow will continue,
Hmm.
right? And these sorts of things. And neither of those are true either, by the way, necessarily. There's exceptions to all, major exceptions to all of
There is a
them.
grain of truth. That's why they,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But the one that I'm talking about here is that you can't stop a behavior without punishment.
Hmm.
And that has to do with dog trainers are really, really weird because on the one hand, we are nerds and we consume a whole lot of information from a whole lot of sources. Um, but we're also idiots because we don't contextualize that information.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, um, I'll give you another example. Excuse me. Give you another example. My first dog training book was The Keeler Method of Dog Training.
Hmm.
It's the first book I ever owned. I still have a copy of it over there that almost within arm's reach of me, because I was researching some stuff for something else that I'm working on. But and that book has its problems, don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna like I have a very complicated relationship with that book because it meant so much to me growing up, but now I read it now I'm like, wow, like there's a lot of stuff now I'm like, wow, I like this is really off. But um I started learn I learned how to train dogs sort of from that book. Like I had a mentor, a coach who taught me very little, but got me confident enough that I would take money to train dogs, but even though I was woefully underqualified because he didn't teach me much. He was not a good teacher and he didn't spend the time with me. Like he was I was a meal ticket to him, not a serious student. But um anyway, I read that book must have been cover to cover, must have been 3 or 4 times at least
Hmm.
in the first 2 years. And I would several chapters I would read over and over again, right? Like and it was like my Bible, right? But I'd never met anybody who had even met Bill Keeler, much less worked closely with him.
Hmm.
Now, a 10, 15 years into my career, I met a man named Tony Anchetta.
Hmm.
And Tony was, if you want to call yourself a Keeler trainer now, get certified, Tony's the guy that certifies you.
Ah, interesting. Yeah.
Tony worked with Bill Keeler. He lived in his house for a while. When Bill died, Tony and Bill's son Dick continued to develop the method.
Hmm.
So Tony is, as far as I can tell, uh, the living expert on the Keeler method of training. So I started asking him questions, and he would tell me things that aren't in the book.
Hmm.
Like he would describe exercises that aren't in any of the Keeler books, or he would make something clear that's never clarified in the books. Now, what kind of asshole would I be if I was like, "No, man, it's not in the book. I don't know. You don't know what you're talking about."
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And this is the thing. Once I realized I had somebody who was an expert on this, had tons of questions that had been in my head since I read the book. Well,
Yeah.
what about this? Well, what about this? Well, what about this? And dog trainers don't do that with behavioral science, right?
Yeah.
So they read a book that tells them about the operant quadrants
Hmm.
and
Always.
they draw conclusions about that.
Hmm.
And then they operate as if those conclusions are fact without ever asking somebody. And then when somebody who knows more tells them, no, that's not true, they get defensive and they get mad. Like dog, I think one of the things about most dog trainers is that is that we want to be, I think Robin McFarland says that we want to be lone rangers. Like we don't
Yeah.
like there's a strong streak of independence in anybody who decides they want to train dogs for a living. Um,
I guess, I mean, that's true about me. Yeah, I never connected those two.
Yeah. And so like they don't so they build this idea, they build a training model around this misunderstanding of scientific knowledge. And then when someone says you misunderstand scientific knowledge, instead of going, you know what, I should restructure what I'm doing or see how this new information can make the system better, they
Yeah.
go, no, you're the one who misunderstands it. I read it right there, clear as day,
Hmm.
right? And the quadrants are one of these situations that are so full of room for misunderstanding. So full of room for misunderstanding. And so, if you look at the definition of punishment in operant conditioning, what is it? It's something that reduces the likelihood that a behavior will
Yeah.
be repeated
Yeah.
in the future, right? And and most trainers can quote that to you.
Hmm.
Balance trainers can quote it to you too, right? But the problem is number one, there is an implication if it's not out because there's no standard definition. Like this is what they all the books say it a little differently.
Yeah.
Like all the books say it a little differently, but they all say basically the same thing. But what none of them really do is they never say there is a implied aversive element to this,
Hmm.
right? That it has to be
No,
an
it doesn't say that.
unpleasant
Yeah.
consequence. Like punishment must be something the animal wishes to avoid.
Yeah.
Um, but if you say the only way to stop a behavior is with punishment, or if you define punishment as something that makes a behavior less likely to occur, then two things happen. One, anything that makes a behavior less likely to occur must therefore be punishment,
I
right?
mean, yes, that is
But
true by the
but
definition.
but it's not.
If that's the like if the definition is of like if the definition of punishment is that it makes the behavior less likely to occur in the future, then I mean, if we are looking at it through the lens of the quadrants, then
Yes.
anything that does that would fall into that category, right? But like that's just one of, I mean, in my opinion, that's just one of many lenses we can look at life at.
But
Um,
that's not
yeah,
your opinion. That's the science because we can already talk about two forms of condition, operant and
and
classical
classical,
conditioning.
yeah, yeah,
And you know what? I just saw this morning I started reading something from Michael Shikashio. It was really long, so I didn't finish it because I had to get ready for this thing. But he mentioned the operant quadrants, and I'm like, that's the way I'm going to start referring to them from now on. I'm going to call them the operant quadrants because they only
yeah,
exist in operant conditioning,
yeah,
right? So this is where they get hung up. Number one, they will be using non-operant strategies and
yeah,
call it punishment, right? So there's one guy going out and he's using what I can something that is indistinguishable to me from classical counter conditioning,
yeah.
but he's calling it punishment by reward.
Like yeah, someone has like who is that? Yeah, I've definitely also come across this.
Yeah, it's Mark McCabe.
Okay, yeah,
Mark
yeah,
McCabe.
yeah,
It's TBTE, training between the ears.
yeah, yeah,
And as far as I can tell, it's indistinguishable from classical counter conditioning. Um, and because it's classical conditioning, the operant quadrants aren't in play,
yeah.
right? Because the dog's behavior doesn't change the outcome,
Yeah, I mean,
you
like
know?
if you force an operant lens on it, then you would have to say it is punishment.
Right.
Like
But
if you like force the person to look at it from this angle only, and these are the only options you can like, I don't know, you have that multiple choice test, right?
hmm
This is the definition, this is the situation. You need to pick
hmm
one of those, gun to your head. You have to pick the punishment one and then.
hmm
Um, but like what that is, it is just missing the bigger picture that
right.
the world is much more complex than that.
hmm
Yeah.
But like so by that definition, by that thinking, right? If I take a dog out and play tug with him before a walk, and that makes him less likely to be reactive, is tug punishment?
Yeah,
Is
like
tug
if you
punishing is
yeah, like if I have
right?
this myopic view of it, right?
hmm
Then I would have to say yes, it is.
But then you have
But
to
like
go, well,
and,
that's
I mean,
absurd. That can't be
of-
true.
yeah, like I agree with you.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah,
Right. and that's the problem is and so that's one of it. Like so they say force-free trainers can't stop behavior because they refuse to punishment, right? And
Yeah.
then everything they believe about force-free training goes from there,
And it
right?
has
They
to
can't
be,
stop,
yeah. Yeah, and if you can't
right?
stop behavior, like what kind of a dog trainer are you? Like how can you
Yes.
even call yourself a dog trainer, right?
Yeah, and then there's the whole myth that oh, force-free trainers are just recommending the needle for all these dogs because they can't stop any problems. Every dog the force-free trainer works with is either medicated or euthanized, right? Because they can't actually train dogs. And that's not true. It's not true at all. But
It's not true at all, but also there definitely also is a grain of like all these stories, right?
mhm.
That all the myths are based in a grain of truth.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of dogs on medication in the force-free world, in that or in the slice that I used to inhabit.
hmm
Like a crazy amount of dogs on medication that don't necessarily
hmm
like where I'm like, I mean, I don't know if that dog needs to be made. Like that's a little bit because often it is not, or like there's this idea that medication shouldn't be a last resort. And no, I mean, it doesn't have to be a last resort, but it also doesn't have to be like your go-to thing.
hmm
So like there definitely also is a grain of truth to that, right? It's
But
yeah.
here's where it gets a little weird for me, right? So like, um, I'm not gonna drop any names, but you may know who I'm talking about. Um, there was a really well-known trainer in the force-free world. They don't call themselves force-free necessarily, but they are popular in the force-free world. And they had a dog that was having some aggression issues. And they eventually decided, I can't remember how, if they decided to send the dog back to the breeder or euthanize the dog. I don't remember exactly how that turned out, but they publicly
Hmm.
made it clear that they were giving up this dog, that they couldn't fix this dog. And of course, the bounce community went nuts, like just dragging this person over, through the coals, like this is the proof of the ineffectiveness of force-free training and blah 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 blah. Now, couple of points. One is if a balance trainer had said, I can't work with this dog is too much, this dog is dangerous, this dog is not safe. Uh say if Ivan ever said that, no one would say it's because he was a balance trainer. No one ever say it reflect on his training ability or his modality. They would say, yeah, he's a great trainer, but this was obviously too much for him, right? And even if it was a shitty balance trainer, like they still wouldn't do that.
Yeah,
They'd still kind of stand up for them and say, no, 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 this dog, if you can't punish this dog out of aggression, I guess it's unsalvageable, right?
yeah.
um and now, so here's what, and I'm gonna come back to that point, but here's what they don't know, but I knew because this trainer talked to me about their dog.
Hmm.
This trainer also went and spent time with Michael Ellis with this dog.
Hmm.
And they didn't make that public. They didn't make that public, which is why I'm not saying who it is. They didn't make that public, probably because what you're talking about, their community would not welcome them if they knew that, right? There's a cost to being in that space,
Yeah,
and this trainer decided to not violate those rules publicly, but was open-minded enough to explore that option.
yeah,
And from this, what this person told me, Michael Ellis agreed with their assessment.
yeah,
So but the balance community had no curiosity and no nuance. It's just like, force free trainer failed, and this is I could just sink my teeth into that, right?
yeah,
Now, I have seen a fair number of dogs that other balance trainers have recommended youth for,
yeah,
and none of them were that dangerous. The problem was is these were dogs that they couldn't bully,
yeah,
right? These were what Jay would call a good dog,
yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like I'm not quitting. The harder you tell me to quit, the less I am going to quit, right?
yeah,
Like, and when their little prong collars and the little e-collars couldn't cause enough chaos or enough discomfort or enough reflection in the dog for them to go, I don't want to do that anymore, they said the dog isn't fixable. But a little bit of biological fulfillment, a little bit of respect with the dog, a little bit of understanding and teaching the dog how other ways to resolve conflict, and we've got a safe dog. Like Jay has a story. this is the most extreme example. A trainer comes into Jay's facility after training with a high level, very well known balance trainer. Again, I'm not dropping names because I'm not going to shit on anybody's reputation, but a really well respected balance trainer. And they weren't happy with the results. They walk into Jay's facility, they got like a prong collar and an e-collar and a muzzle on the dog and all of this stuff. And Jay's like, take all that shit off. And they're like, what? He goes, take all that shit off. Here's a flat collar or whatever, right? Yeah. So a few months later, this person takes their dog on a camping trip. Dog's hanging out on a flat collar by the campfire, people coming and going, right? Now, their previous trainer had told them they should never take their dog out without the prong collar and a muzzle at least, right? And the dog wasn't allowed any liberty. The dog had to be under tight management all the time because this dog was a menace and was dangerous, right? So this person takes their dog out on a camping trip, right? And puts videos on her socials of the dog hanging out by the campfire and, being fine. Now, the trainer who she had first seen didn't go, wow, I have stuff to learn. That wasn't the lesson. The trainer sent her a message saying, you're playing with fire. It's only a matter of time before your dog, hurts somebody. Like, I don't know what the hell you think you're doing, but this is dangerous, right? He
Yeah.
couldn't see the success they were having
Yeah.
and change his perspective. It was like, no, this is bad and you're wrong because I can't be wrong, right?
Yeah.
And so I live in this weird space where I'm consistently advocating for kinder, gentler, softer methods. Um, and coming from the dog's point of view, and you don't have to kick their ass. You don't have to bully them. Like you shouldn't be bullying dogs. Balance does not mean bullying. And there's this entire sort of coded language that balance trainers use. Um, like they'll say things like, you have to hold the dog accountable, right? Which on the surface is not an objectionable idea.
What
But
does it what does it mean? I
well,
don't know that
so
well.
so so
Like in the
basically
context of balanced dog training. Yeah.
yeah, so really what it is, it's a form of anthropomorphization, right?
I
It's
mean,
and by the way,
I know what accountability means, but like
yeah.
I don't know what balanced dog trainers mean when they say that.
Okay, so like there's a line there's a quote in the Keeler book that says something like the only certain consequence of shielding men from the consequence or from the results of their folly is to fill the world with fools, right?
Uh-huh.
So so the idea is that if a dog makes a dumb decision, we have to make that unpleasant so they know it's a dumb decision, right? And you can frame that in a very ethical way if you want to. And again, there's nothing objectionable about that. It's actually not even untrue in the sense that what we're all doing is we're trying to convince the dog that some choices work out better for them than other choices,
Yeah.
right? Like that's what us all training is because every being on the planet is going to do the thing that they believe will be most rewarding.
Yeah.
So our job as trainers is to adjust their expectations of how different behaviors are going to work out, right? But when all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. So
Yeah.
the solution that the balance trainers default at is make it hurt when you do that.
Yeah.
Make the consequence unpleasant. And they don't really think that they don't like they talk about other ideas, but when it comes down to I don't want this to happen anymore, they tend to just go give that dog a correction, right? Which is
Mhm.
holding the dog accountable. And the problem with that phrase for me is that it makes dogs moral and ethical creatures, which they are not,
Yeah.
right? They are the example I give is you never see a police dog being sent after a guy, and the police dog stops and goes, "Are you sure this is the right guy? Are you sure he's the one?" Like, like maybe he was just in the wrong place, the wrong time, or what are the socioeconomic pressures that are causing him to commit these crimes? Should we look into that? Like, they don't do any of that. Like, they're not moral creatures. They're like, I bite this guy because you should bite them. Okay, let's go. Like,
Because
they
biting
can,
people is fun, and yay, you just
yeah, exactly.
told me I could. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't think in terms of moral repercussions. They don't have that capacity.
Yeah.
And so when you start talking about accountability, what you're talking about is a very human thing that somebody committed a transgression that they knew they were committing,
Yeah,
and now we're holding them accountable for their failure to uphold society's standards,
yeah,
right? Or uphold the standard, right? And that turns it into, again, correcting. I'll say this: punishment is morally neutral, right? And everybody knows this. Whether you're a force for your balance trainer, you know this, because if a dog if a dog runs into a cactus bush, he will learn not to run into a cactus bush again,
yeah,
right? But nobody is going to be mad at the cactus bush for that,
right, yeah,
right? The dog experienced punishment, and there's no moral story there beyond the dog did something dumb and learned a lesson,
yeah,
right? There's no moral story there. But as soon as someone deliberately uses punishment, now it becomes a moral issue. Like if I accidentally step on my dog's foot because he's in my way, nobody's gonna be mad at me for that. Nobody's gonna say, "Hey, that was unethical. It was
yeah,
an accident. It happened." But no one will say, also argue the dog wasn't punished by that,
yeah,
right? It is only when somebody chooses to use punishment as a strategy does it become a moral choice, and that's fair.
yeah,
That's fair. Like I'm not saying that's wrong, but we must start with the idea that punishment is morally neutral
yeah,
on its own. Applications of it can be immoral,
hmm,
right? Um, but the event in itself is not moral or immoral. It's neutral, right?
yeah,
Um, and this is the big part of the area where we're kind of struggling. Uh, Personally, to me, it's very simple. I want the dog to experience more good things and fewer bad things
yeah,
because I love dogs and I care about what happens to them.
right,
Right? Just like, like when I was a kid, like I grew up at a time where corporal punishment was normal for kids. Like it wasn't even a dirty little secret like it is now. Like, you know, I got spanked. I got spanked, and there was this ritual that sometimes my dad would go through when he would spank me is, afterwards, why did I spank you? And the answer was because you love me,
ah, yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah,
Right? And the whole this is going to hurt me more than it's going to hurt you. I got that sort of speech.
yeah,
I never got the sense that my dad enjoyed punishing me. I got the sense that he did it out of a sense of duty and responsibility, that he has to make me a better person.
did it make you a
And
better person?
I don't know. I don't know. Like that's a question every Gen Xer gets asked that question at some point in time. Like, because we all say that I got spanked and I turned out okay. I don't know if I turned out okay. Like like I think I did. Like I'm successful,
No, I'm
kind
sure
of.
you turned out okay, but like I'm curious. I mean, and you can't know the answer, I guess. Like I would just be
Yeah.
curious if you hadn't been spanked, would you have turned out the same way or different, better or worse, or simply
You know,
different, or would it have?
I
No,
have
yeah,
I
but
really
you
don't
can't know.
know.
You can't know, I guess. Yeah,
One of the things my dad says that again, he has some brilliant observations, and this one just kills me every time I think about it. He just says, in this life, we only get but how's he say it? We only have the luxury of seeing the results of one set of choices,
yes,
right?
yeah,
And so, like, would I be different if I was raised differently? Certainly. How different? I don't know. Would I be better? Would I be worse? Would I be happier? Would I be more successful? Would I be less successful? Would I be depressed? Would I be unfunctional? I have no idea.
yeah,
But I don't believe I was abused.
yeah.
Like this is the important thing. And I don't believe I was abused because all of that was set on a backdrop of love. I never in my life didn't feel loved at home.
And did you understand the contingencies as a kid?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
Like the issue wasn't whether so here's the thing. It was never about whether this was allowed or not. The question was whether I thought I could get away with it or not.
oh, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Right? I didn't ever do the shouldn't say I'm probably too broad speaking in too broad terms here. But like if I wanted to steal a cookie from the cookie jar, there was never a moral question about whether I would do that. The question was whether or not I thought
You would get
I
caught.
would get away with it,
Okay,
right?
yeah. Okay, then that's it.
So,
Yeah. Okay, I totally like I shoplifted a little bit. I had a phase in like as a kid where I shoplifted.
mhm,
And not out of necessity. I
just for the thrill.
Yeah, for a thrill.
Yeah.
And it was like, yeah, do I think I can get away with it in this context, in this store, right? And like little things, not something that would like hurt anyone, but like I mean,
Yeah.
like I think that's a kid thing, right? It's
Yeah, I did that too. Yeah.
in a way like it's like
Like some bubble gum or something like
yeah, yeah, yeah,
that.
yeah. And
Yeah.
like looking back, you're like, you know, you're not supposed to do that, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
And it is like it's actually the thrill of there could be that consequence. And it is
Hmm.
forbidden that makes you more like for me, I think that made it more likely that I would do it.
Hmm. But here's the weird part about that. I remember there was a time where there was like one cookie left in the cookie jar. And I knew that when
You
somebody got home, someone would know
they
that
would
someone
know.
had taken the last cookie because there was only one left. Like there's a whole full cookie jar. No one's going to notice one or two missing. But when there's one left, they're going to notice. And I knew I would get caught.
Yeah.
I knew it. But I was like, I want this cookie. So I decided I knew
It
what I
was
was
worth
asking
risk
for.
banking. Yeah.
Yes. Um, and so that was that disrespect. Like, I don't see this is the problem. See, a balance trainer would say if a dog did that, they were being disrespectful, right? Um,
No, you're just
but
being
I
yeah.
I wasn't disrespecting my parents. I was just pushing that consequence down the road because I lived in the moment like dogs do,
Yeah.
right? But
And
here's
we lose
another
that
interesting
once we
thing.
grow up. Yeah. But
So
yeah.
what?
We lose that as we get older.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, here's another thing that's interesting about dogs, going back to the couch thing, right? Um, I think is really important. And I think balance trainers don't get this. And I don't know if the force-free community talks about this at all. As far as I know, I'm the only one who talks about this shit, this one particular thing. But it really is important to me, and that is dogs do not understand ownership. They understand possession,
Yeah.
right? And so what that means is like, so people do this all the time. Let's say, so you talk to a balance trainer, you say, I taught my dog not to get on the couch without permission. I'm like, okay, cool. But every time I leave, as soon as I'm gone, the dog jumps on the couch. Now, almost every balance trainer, well, the dog doesn't respect you. He doesn't respect your rules. He knows he's not supposed to. He won't do it in front of you. If you do it when you're gone, that means he doesn't respect you. He knows he's not supposed to, and he
No,
knows
it
he's
just
doing it
means
wrong.
you have taught him that this rule applies in a certain set of circumstances. And you haven't
Yeah,
taught the dog to generalize that the couch is off limits at all times. And the dog has no way of knowing that, right? Yeah.
right. But even more so than that, like the dog has no reason to think we would care when we're not around.
Yeah.
Like
No, yeah.
it's not
Totally.
even like because like right now I'm possessing the couch, and I can tell her because I'm possessing it, you can't.
Hmm.
Just like I'm chewing on the bone right now, so you can't,
Yeah.
right? But if I walk away from that bone, there's no reason that dog's going to think, well, I can't chew on it now
No, of course.
because
Yeah. No, I agree with you, but like it is possible to teach a dog that the couch is always off limits, right? You
yes,
just would have to like devise a plan and go out of your way to get that concept across. And
yes,
I don't think the dog would then believe that it was about ownership. The dog would just learn that, okay, the couch is not a place to go on.
yes,
And
and
move
I
on
guess
with
that's
their life.
what
Yeah.
that's what I'm trying to say is that we personalize it, we internalize it,
Yeah.
right? And it becomes a story about the dog's respect for us as opposed to a story about the effectiveness of our teaching strategy.
Yeah.
Right? Because we walk through the world assuming possession and ownership are real things. Like, and ownership isn't a real thing. It's a legal construct.
Yeah, it's a ridiculous I hate the like, well, I'm an anarchist. I hate the concept of ownership.
Yeah. Yeah, but
Say that
so it's
every once in a
like
while in my podcast.
it's a form of possession that persists when we're not actually possessing the thing.
Yeah.
Right? And it is a legal construct. It's not real, and but we are immersed in it from childhood, so we think it's natural, we think it's normal, we think it's just how the way things are.
Yeah.
And dogs don't think that way. Like they just don't. And so like it can be anything. Don't bark. Well, why would you care if I bark when you're not here? Why would that even matter to you?
Exactly. Yeah. No, I
Right?
have
Like
that.
like
I've had that conversation with, so like there are people in the so-called force free world who have those conversations.
Hmm.
And the way it is framed and the way I would frame it is it's a generalization thing.
Hmm.
It's just like if I'm teaching my dog to sit in my living room, I cannot expect the dog to sit like in the middle of Disneyland or whatever, right?
Hmm.
It's proofing and generalization. So
Hmm.
your training plan needs to build up to that. And
Hmm.
the same goes for the couch. So it's not a, yeah, it's like, it's not about ownership or possession. It's just a training plan. You didn't train for that contingency, so you can expect the behavior to occur in that, to occur under these circumstances. And but you can build up to it if you're smart and if you like think about how you want to do that.
Yeah, no, no, I agree with you. I agree with you. So the problem I'm trying to illustrate is twofold. One, it's the people's not being able to understand the dog because they have this framework of possession of ownership that the dog just is completely alien to the dog, and the dog will never understand that you own
Yeah,
things,
yeah.
right?
I
Like,
remember, and I think Rousseau, that French philosopher, said all the problems in the world started when the first person put up a fence.
yeah, I mean,
I think
yeah, I mean,
it goes back
yeah,
to that. That's where
yeah.
ownership became like this thing, right? Yeah.
Well, yeah, and again, it makes sense. If I I get it. If I put in the work, if I am the first person in my community to plant a seed and grow a bush that gives me berries, and I've spent the year tending that soil and making sure, why should you just come and eat my berries? Like oh, as soon as agriculture starts happening, ownership has to happen, right? Because it's the only fair way to deal with it. It is it's a necessary legal construct,
Yeah.
right? At some point, right? Because you don't want people just taking stuff that you've worked hard to build or
Like,
create
yeah,
or
yeah,
craft, right? You know what I'm saying? Like you have to, for society to function at a certain level, you have to have this concept. But dogs don't live at that level and they don't need to understand that.
yeah.
So, but the other thing that I think is important is that if we do frame it as I am possessing this couch right now, right? And that's why the dog is not doing it. The dog's not getting on the couch because it's a social rule, not a moral or ethical rule.
Yeah.
And the difficulty is getting the dog to understand social rules when we're not there. And I would argue that you can't make a dog understand social rules when nobody's there. Like how many people say excuse me when they burp in their own home by themselves?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Like you
Yeah.
don't follow that rule because that's for other people.
Yeah.
Right? So your strategy for the couch can't be about my authority. It can't be about my control. It has to be what outcomes the dog experiences or how valuable the couch looks to them in general.
Yeah.
Like you're saying, so I agree with what you're saying about generalization. What
Yeah.
I'm trying to address is the framework that the lens that we use
Hmm.
to look at it has to be we have to stop thinking about dog training in terms of respect for the owner, respect for the handler, respect for, the like we got to stop training in terms of respect because that only works when you're present. You know, I
Yeah.
used to tell people the thing about if you look at the Keeler method, the book, there is a very long process they go through to to convince the dog that you can correct them off leash, that
Hmm.
you can correct them no matter how far away they are. And you trick them. You literally trick the dog into thinking you have this magic power that you can reach out and touch them from across the field,
Hmm.
right? And the reason why is because a whole lot of that book is about the dog avoiding the consequence of not complying, right?
Yeah.
And so I always tell people if the only reason a dog is doing something is to avoid the punishment, that will work until the dog reasonably thinks he can avoid that punishment. And for the average off-leash dog, that's about 13 feet,
Yeah.
right? Once they get about 13 feet away from, they're like, ha ha ha, I don't have to do anything because you can't catch me. I'm faster than you, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
And you
so,
see that, like, that is I feel like a super common thing too, where like
mhm.
the walk is over, the owner gets back to the car, and the dog is like, maybe your walk is over, mine is not.
Yeah, exactly. And so, so this is why, again, I started shifting out of that balanced mindset when it comes to this. Like, I guess what I'm saying is when I changed the way I looked at the way the dog saw me and saw his relationship to me and saw his relationship to the bigger world and saw it was just trying to figure out what path was going to give him the most benefit as he walked forward in life.
Yeah.
Once I frame it that way, a lot of the old rules for balance started to seem kind of ridiculous,
Yeah.
right? And the more vocal I got about that, the more I found that I was getting, sort of. So I hit the training community like a ton of bricks when I first joined the IACP. I got on their group
Also,
and
congratulations. I just saw that you'll be one of the speakers.
oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm very excited about that.
I'm curious.
But
Oh, okay, no.
uh,
Later. I'll ask you later what you if you know what you're speaking about. Okay.
yeah, the title of my presentation is going to be navigating the dog's emotional landscape.
Oh, nice. Oh, that's
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
So, but anyway, so like uh I made a lot of missteps at first, created a lot of waves, made some I wouldn't say enemies, got some corrections from the old dogs for coming in too hot. I learned from them. I amended my behavior. But I very quickly na made a name for myself in that group. I earned the respect of a lot of the old veterans whose respect was really important back at that time for you to kind of move up the ranks. Like it was very much an old boy system then, and girl too. I'm not trying to be, sexist, but
Yeah.
that's but there were certain people that if you got them on your side, you would have respect from the rest of the community automatically. And if you didn't get their respect, if you earned their animosity, you would be feeling that all the way down the line too.
Yeah.
And I earned their respect and I got their support. And, uh, Dick Russell was the guy who told me to start teaching workshops,
Hmm.
right? Right. He said, I'm too old and somebody needs to do it. You go do it. Right. Like, so
Yeah.
like, and I was on top. Like, I mean, not on top. Like, I always knew that I was always grateful for the success that I had. But there was a time period not that long ago that if you were to go look at, what workshop should you go to, comments, threads on the social
Work
medias,
right on
like
the
I,
first.
I
Yeah.
would be one of the first 10
Yeah.
every time,
Yeah.
right? In the balance community, force free community, I didn't know who the fuck I was, but in the balance community, I would be, in the top 10 every time. But that slowly started to change. And the more I got into more positive solutions, the more I got into calling out some of the myths that we hold as balanced trainers, the less interaction my stuff got. Oh, not a lot of people argue with me about dogs. Like, this is very interesting. Not a lot of people, I can post something, not a lot of people argue with me. Every once in a while somewhere. Most people go, oh, okay. Because the thing is, the reason why I made such a good reputation for myself early on is that I didn't say anything publicly until I thought about it quite a bit.
Yeah.
Like, I don't hit a knee-jerk reaction and then automatically defend it. I think about it and I process, and usually my opinions are crafted after long conversations with people where they're challenging me and we're
Yeah.
going back and forth and all this stuff. And so by the time I make a public statement, it's been tested. And also, I'm a pretty good debater.
Yeah.
Um, and so what ends up happening is, and this is not all good stuff, by the way, because I think what happens is now people don't engage anymore. They don't change their mind,
Yeah. They're not interested in
but
that. Yeah.
they just go, "Oh, that's dumb," and they move on. Whereas before, they would at least start the conversation. I could have a conversation with them about it. But I was so effective, I believe. I was so effective and so persistent, and uh, that people didn't feel good. Like they might not be able to win the argument, but they didn't feel good and enlightened and empowered.
Yeah.
Right? I was winning arguments, but not winning friends
Yeah.
and not persuading people. Right? Like modern politics, right? Like you can argue, and you can prove your point, but you didn't actually persuade the person because these
Yeah.
are identities, not ideas, right? And that's the important thing.
Yeah.
And so, but I have felt it. My shift has hurt me financially, you know.
Hmm.
My shift has hurt me financially, and there were people who used to be my friends who many of them have actually unfriended me. A lot of them have unfollowed me.
Yeah,
And I can tell because I will post things that I know they would respond to if they saw it.
yeah.
And they're not seeing it. We're still my friends, but they're not seeing my content anymore. And
I mean, that could also be, I do think that generally, I think that algorithm that shows things to
yep,
people is constantly evolving and changing.
that's true
And
too. Yeah.
and then like I can tell because there are people who I follow on Facebook and whose stuff I want to see, and I don't see it unless I like go to this person's page. Uh,
Yeah.
or it's like it's very I do not understand. Like I feel like that is probably also a part of it.
No,
That is, yeah,
yeah, you're absolutely right. I absolutely agree with you because, like, for example, I told this to Jay recently. I don't see everything. If there's one person on Facebook that I want to see everything they post, it's Jay,
yeah.
right? Like it's Jay, and I don't see a lot of what he posts. Like, so I get that.
Like every once in a while there is and I'm like, oh great. And then like sometimes I'll click on his name and I'll like see and I'm like, oh, there are like all these other posts. Facebook never showed
Yeah.
me those. Yeah,
But the thing is I still see their stuff. I still see these people's stuff occasionally.
yeah.
Right. These are people I
That's
still
true.
see
Yeah.
that I still see their stuff. Not everything they post, but I still see enough of it. These are people that have not commented or interacted with anything I've posted in years, right? And
Mhm.
that's an unfollow. That's not just the algorithm,
Yeah.
right? Like I said, but some have gone ahead and unfriended me. Um, uh, uh, and some I think are seeing all my stuff and are deliberately not interacting with it.
Hmm.
Like there's some where there's a sort of a pettiness of going, I'm not gonna like that. I'm not gonna comment on that. Even though I agree with what this guy's saying, I'm not gonna give him
Yeah.
the props. And that's fine too, because I do the same thing. I'm petty too sometimes. Like
I mean, like I do that. Like honestly, I am very rarely these days interacting with stuff on Facebook because I just Facebook is annoying. It's so annoying, girl. And I think that's the main like across the board. I'm just very rarely interacting with it anymore nowadays. And I used to do a lot more of that.
hmm
Which is sad. Like that's sad. Um,
hmm
because I'm probably losing out on good conversation I could be having with people. But it's not that's not even about the people. It's about that whole platform where I'm like, I
hmm
just want to spend the least amount of time on it as I can. And I should stop ranting about social media because I feel like I've been doing this in every single podcast episode for the last, I
Well,
don't know,
it's something that's important to you right now then, right? So
ridiculous.
like it's a weird thing because we do need it.
Yeah,
To be successful in the modern dog training world, you need social media.
yeah.
Um, you need that presence, and you have to be devise really healthy strategies for it. Like, I've developed an alt account for my political leanings.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Huh. Yeah.
so and it's not a secret. Like, I will
Yeah.
sometimes share stuff from there too, my thing. But I realize that people who follow me for dogs aren't interested in my politics, right? Like that's not what they're there for. And and I'm passionate about both subjects, and I've
Yeah.
just decided I should, for the most part, keep the if someone's interested in my politics, they can follow that account.
Mhm.
If they're interested in my dog training, they can follow my main account, and then I don't have to worry about it. Every once in a while, I'll put something political on my main feed, but it's always a
Right.
very
Like I don't know your other feed. I do know your political leanings because of the fact that you have every once in a while put something
mhm.
on that feed. So you have to share, like you can share it publicly or you can share it privately with me.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean,
Whichever way you want.
my alt account is called a recovering right winger.
Okay, yeah, no, I have actually. I think, yeah, like I think I've seen you share something from that account and did not
hmm
realize that it was you.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I have to follow
That's
that.
that's
Yeah,
yeah, that's my because I grew up very far right, and now I'm one of these guys who thinks Bernie doesn't go far enough. So so
yeah, yeah,
like I'm pulling from Mendami next week, like
yeah,
I'm all the way. I'm not even liberal now. I'm progressive. Like I'm gone the complete other side. Um, and that's a journey too, but that's a whole other conversation. But I guess that's the defining story of my life is shifting positions, right? Like, and one of my favorite quotes, Muhammad Ali said, "A man who sees the world the same at 50 as he did at 20 has wasted 30 years of his life."
A good one.
And I think, and that's really that to me, that's super, super important. Like, you know, what's the most important thing I've learned? My answer to that would always be, I hope I haven't learned it yet. You know, like,
Okay.
um, so. But yeah, it has it this shift in me. I'm very happy as a trainer. I'm happy with the work I do. I'm happy with my clients. Um, Everything I do feels, it feels like I'm in keeping with myself. Like um, I'm living in harmony with my ideals. At least when it comes to dogs, like it's
Yeah.
impossible in this society to live entirely in harmony with my ideals. But when I work with dogs, I'm living in harmony with my ideals, and I'm doing the best I can. Like I don't if you ask, I believe that if you ask any trainer, if you could get all of the dogs you trained where they needed to be in a reasonable amount of time without ever doing anything that would make the dog unhappy, would you do that? I
I
think
think
there's
I would
very
say
few.
yes. Yeah.
I think there's very few trainers who would say, "No, I still want to correct them." Like
Yeah.
in theory, they all think that's a great idea, but immediately the next thing is, "But that's not possible." And again, this episode is going to be full of quotes. Henry Ford was a terrible fucking human being, but he has a quote that I love, and that is, "Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're probably right."
Ah, because you will do, yeah, you will act depending on your beliefs.
Yes, exactly. And so if I believe it's impossible
It's probably
to stop
impossible
a
for you.
behavior without punishment, then it will be impossible for me,
Yeah.
right? But if I believe it's possible,
Then it will be possible for you. Yeah.
yeah, like and I think Arthur C. Clarke, science fiction writer. It was him or one of the science fiction writers from the 60s and 70s, one of the big giants of science fiction, said, "If scientists tell me something is possible, I believe it will happen soon. If scientists tell me something is impossible, I will believe it will happen in decades." Right? Um, and I think, when we start with something's not possible, we kill creativity, we kill, right? It's a form of thought stopping,
Yeah.
which is a cult strategy. And I'm not saying
Yeah.
balance training is a cult. I'm not saying that. But I think there are cult-like tendencies in both camps.
Yeah.
I think
Oh,
both
for sure.
camps use thought stopping, both camps use sort of uh their own private vocabulary,
Yeah.
um and um both have a high cost charge a high cost for, you know uh
Admission. Yeah.
well, not just admission, but they also penalize you for disagreement, for going against the grain, for challenging, like dissent. That's what I'm looking for. There's
Yeah.
a high cost for dissent too. And so my whole I did a couple workshops with a force-free-ish trainer named Sarah Dixon,
Yeah.
and we called the workshops Bridging the Gap,
I love
and
it. Yeah.
the tagline was we didn't fit into a camp, so we made our own,
Nice. Yeah.
right? Like because we came up with the rules, like ethical dog training needs to be fair, it needs to be clear, it needs to be effective, and that's it.
Yeah.
Like that's it. Like if it's clear, fair, and effective, and it produces a happy dog, then it's ethical,
Yeah.
you know? And that's been sort of that's my camp. If you're
Yeah.
fair, clear, and effective and produce happy dogs, I can be your friend and I can
Yeah.
support your work. Um, if what you're doing is unfair, I'm gonna go, that's not fair.
Yeah.
Like, and if you go, oh yeah, you're right, that's not fair, I need to.
Then you can still be my friend. Yeah.
Yes, but if you're like, fuck you, I don't care about fairness, then we can't be friends anymore.
Yeah.
Like we can be civil, we can be
Right.
cordial,
Yeah.
but you told me your priorities don't match mine, and therefore I can't invest that much in my relationship with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely. Yeah.
right? That doesn't mean I hate you. It just means that, you know, I've just made an observation about your character,
Yeah.
and I know I can't let you too close to me,
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't
right?
need to like we don't have to like it doesn't have to be a big deal.
Right,
You do you, I do me. Yeah.
right. It's like, um, if I call somebody a coward, that's not a moral judgment, it's an observation,
Yeah.
right? That means when the shit goes down, I can't rely on you.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
when it's in a pinch, I know you won't be there, so I'm not gonna lean on you. So I just
Yeah.
and now I've put you in that category of somebody that I can hang out with, be cool with, have a great time with. Maybe you make me laugh. Maybe we love to play games together or go see movies together or sit and talk at a coffee shop, whatever. Maybe you provide me with the most stimulating conversation. But when that guy stands up and says, you know, I'm going to bully this kid over here, I know you're not going to have my back when I tell that other guy you can't do that.
Yeah.
Like I know I'm on my own. Like
Yeah.
there's nobody got my back because you're going to be out the door.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
that's
It's
it.
an observation, but I also do feel like I sometimes think about these things, right? Around people. I do think it is like I can't help it also being a little bit of a moral judgment. Because I feel like the right thing to do is to stand up for the kid.
Well,
So so like I work hard, for example, if I want to have continue having a relationship with the person I know wouldn't stand up and would be out the door, I work hard in not letting that interfere too much with the good times we're having as we're having like our conversation at the coffee shop, right? But there is a part of me that will always still make that moral judgment. And I cannot
so
help it.
so here's the thing, like the only way I can make that moral judgment is if I know that there's never a circumstance where I won't stand up when I think I should. And I'm
Ah,
pretty
yeah,
hard on myself.
yeah,
I'm pretty hard on myself, and I can tell you there are times where I've kept my mouth shut that I'm embarrassed that I kept my mouth shut.
yeah,
And I'm not talking about in the distant past,
yeah,
you know, like last week maybe.
yeah,
I can't think of one from last week, but like there are times where I'll see something, I'll go, that's not right. I should say something, and I go, it's not worth getting involved at this point in time. No, I'm not talking about something super egregious.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But there's times where I know I should have been more proactive and I didn't. There's times that I should have said something and I didn't. Um, in the course of the time, I tell myself it's not the right time. This isn't,
But like
um,
I do feel like sometimes it is not like I mean like I do that is something I like personally like I spend a lot of time ruminating about these things and like when to say something and when not to say something because like part of
mhm,
it is like I don't want to be unnecessarily mean to someone if it's not going to do anything, right? If I already know this person is never going to change their mind and they don't care, um whatever, right? But also like it's not worth investing trying to change their mind or having a deeper conversation about a topic.
mhm,
But like also I always want to give people the benefit of the doubt and
mhm,
interpret what they're doing or saying in the most positive way possible. I just want to do that, right?
mhm,
But then sometimes I try doing that and I do that, but like a part of me feels like that's like I feel like I'm being I don't know. Like it's very I find it's very hard to know.
mhm. Yeah, and that's my point. It's like my most of my attention is geared towards making sure I am continuing my journey to be the person that I want to be,
Yeah.
right? And and because that's where my focus is, I have very little time to be worried about other people's journeys in the
No,
same way.
absolutely. But as a social species, I feel like my journey as a human being is often who do I want to be in relation to other human beings, right?
Hmm.
So that causes me to think about these things because it is an
Yeah.
integral part of my journey as a human being.
Yeah. So like for me, it's like if I know that you're a coward, like I don't know what made you a coward. I don't know if it's because you never stood up for yourself. I don't know if somebody, beat you into submission enough times that
Yeah,
you no longer have the ability. Like that's not my place to figure out. My place is to figure out how close I can get to you
that's
and and how my interactions with you have to go.
yeah,
Right. So like, Jay has this model of like the list. right? He says keep the list, right? We all have this list. We have people who are uh acquaintances. We have people who are nobody that are nobody nothing to us. We don't know them, they're strangers. We have acquaintances. We have, you know, friends. We have family, right? And with each of those circles, each of those circles comes with privileges and responsibilities,
Hmm.
right? And so you have to know where people are, and yeah, so like I was saying, it's like we keep the list, right? Like I get to decide how close you get on that list. Like I can have an acquaintance who is great fun to be with, but they don't have the privileges or the responsibilities of a friend,
Yeah, absolutely.
right? And so then that's what it comes down to. So like I don't have to make a moral judgment about you. I have to make a judgment about where you fit on my list on in my circle,
Ah,
right?
good point. Yeah. And
Right? So like,
yeah,
you will never be family if I think you're a coward.
yeah,
Like I will never. And now I do have real family, and a lot of my family are people I would qualify as cowards, just because,
yeah.
you know, but they're still family, and I love them. But
But they're
that's,
not on the in the list, like on the list, they're not in the category of family.
well,
All
they
right.
are in the sense that they get the privileges and responsibilities of family. Like if
Mhm.
somebody like I have not disowned anybody in my family, but you know what I'm saying? If I did, then they would be kicked out. But if someone in my family needs my help, I will be there in the fullest capacity that I can do.
Mhm.
Like if my brother calls me up and says, "Hey man, I need your help," I will do what I have to take care of him, right?
Mhm.
Whatever that is, right? Um, but it's not the same. Like again, Jay is family in a different way
Mhm.
because he earned his place in.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like he
yeah,
earned his place in, um and also, like he's family in a way that I can count on him more than I could anybody in my family.
yeah,
you know, Maybe my parents, maybe it's not my parents, but like I could count them in ways that, um, just I know that if I call Jay, said, I need you here, I need you to get to Chicago, he would drop everything and get on a plane and be here
yeah,
as soon as he could. If I said of course, if I abused that, like I would lose that privilege. Like if it's like,
yeah,
hey, I need your help moving this couch, he'd be like, I'm never coming back again. Like you've abused the privilege,
yeah,
like so. There's a responsibility that goes with that too.
yeah,
But like, he would be the first one here if I needed somebody.
yeah,
You know, over all my family. But it is but the point is that we're going far afield. The point is like I am making these assessments about how close to hold people,
yeah,
right? And when you are committed to being, you're committed to a bad idea, then I know where to hold you,
yeah,
right? Like I don't value people who are not self-reflective,
yeah,
you know? Because what am I going to talk about with somebody who doesn't reflect on their own behavior? What are we going to fucking talk about?
yeah,
Like you know like we can maybe enjoy talking about movies or whatever, like I can have a good conversation with you,
yeah.
but
But only
where are
for
we
so
going to get
long, and then you're gonna move on to something different.
there's
Well,
no depth in that.
yeah,
There's no depth in that, right? And that's the oh I have a client who comes in to pick up his dog every day from daycare, and we talk about music.
yeah,
We talk about what concerts are coming to town. Hey, check out this song. We just last week or just this week, he's like, "Hey, you should text me so we can have each other's numbers." So we'll just text each other songs,
yeah,
right? Is this guy a friend? No. Like I'm pretty sure we haven't talked about it, but based on the clothing he wears, I'm pretty sure he's a red hat motherfucker. And like, if we get any deeper than we are, I'm gonna not like him anymore.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Right? Like he seems like a very nice guy, and honestly, most of those red hat wearing assholes are nice people one on one. It's their
yeah,
politics I don't like, not their
yeah.
personalities.
No, yeah,
But
that's something I've been learning too. Yeah,
their politics are important, and I can't get
mm,
past it.
yeah. No, I agree.
You
Yeah,
know?
yeah,
and so I can be friendly. I can enjoy. I look forward to him coming in so we can talk about music.
Yeah.
I look forward to it. But I also know that we can't really be friends. Like I'm not gonna say, "Hey, let's go get a drink together," because I
Yeah.
know that's gonna ruin that, right?
Yeah.
So he's got to be at this distance. But he brings some joy to my life still, and I
And
bring
vice
some,
versa. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. And so, and unfortunately, I feel that way about a lot of my training community, and that's kind of sad.
Yeah.
But I don't know who moved most. Like, is that's the thing? Is like, I don't know if I think just like you, I felt like I had earned some credibility that I would be given some grace to explore in these other avenues. And people would go, oh, well, that's how Chad is. He's investigative. He's curious. He likes to look at things at a different light. That's what we like about him,
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
right? And I guess maybe in my arrogance, I expected more people would go. I expected maybe I had more influence than I thought I did,
Yeah.
right? Like here's a really bizarre example of this. Like you can't change people. Like, do you remember when Trump came out and said everybody should take the vaccine?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like he couldn't be, those people are so dedicated to him, but he couldn't pull them that far. They're like, no,
Yeah.
we're not doing that.
Yeah.
Right? Like Alex Jones is routinely trying to defend Trump for Operation Warp Speed or whatever it is. Like, because he at the one hand he keeps calling it the poison shot,
Yeah.
and on the other hand he's trying to say, yeah, Trump was misled. Like Trump, I
Yeah.
don't know why he was in it. Like he can't
Mm, mm.
square his love for that man
Yeah.
with his politics, and he's just allowed this dissonance. He's just sitting in this dissonance.
Yeah.
And I think, if Trump couldn't pull these people, what made me think I could pull people whose whole identity is I am a balanced trainer and force-free training sucks?
Yeah.
What made me think I could pull them in my force-free trainers
Mhm.
are sometimes okay mindset, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like what made me think I could do that? Um, and that just kind of sucks. It kind of
It
sucks.
it sucks. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and 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 one thing I say to every balance trainer who will listen to me is that when I started training, we were right to not like the force-free community. They were incompetent back then.
Yeah.
Like the force-free movement was still very young.
So
Was the force-free movement was still very young, and they hadn't developed the complex and robust strategies they have now.
yeah.
Right? Like they were incompetent. I watched them. We used to have a training floor where people would rent the training floor to come practice for their AKC stuff. I would see
Yeah.
the dumbest shit from these force-free trainers that come in and rent our floor. I'd be like, "Oh my God, your dog sucks. Like your dog just like I know where that came from. Like they were
Yeah.
terrible. But you know what? While we were laughing at them, they were working
Yeah.
and they were experimenting and they were getting better. And they had a moral conviction that allowed them to put up with our shaming, our disdain, our mockery, and they knew we were right. They knew that their training sucked, but they believed they could make it better, and they kept doing it. And that's fucking badass.
It is.
That's
Yeah.
the opposite of cowardice. And so, whether I agree with the force-free training ideology or not, so much of what I do now is possible because people ignored my mockery.
Yeah.
And I owe them a debt of gratitude for that perseverance and that
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, and so I can understand why the force free community is like, no, this is we earned this place.
Yeah.
Like, no, modern force free trainers, most of them don't know this. They weren't around then,
Yeah.
right? But there are people out there that built a world that I can step into and go, I want this and I want this and I want this and I want this.
Yeah.
Like
But
I'm going to the grocery store and
yeah.
pick the things that I like. And the fact that I can do that is because they didn't quit when we made fun of them.
Yeah. No,
So
you're
they
right.
are,
And but also I think that as something similar is also true for the balanced community. Because I think there was a time when for example, the first e-collars came out and everyone was like just frying dogs or whatever. Like, I'm not like that has gotten so much more. I know very little about this, so take my statements with a salt shaker. Um, I think these things have gotten so much more sophisticated, and trainers have gotten so much more sophisticated on that side too. So that
Yep.
if like 30 years ago or whatever, you might have said, or someone might have said, ugh, that seems like you like the punishment that or the consequence, the aversive consequence you inflicted on this dog doesn't seem to fit the crime. And the timing didn't seem right to me either. The dog doesn't have seemed to really have learned. And then 30 years later, things are much more subtle. People's timing has improved, people's understanding has improved. So I think that is also true, right?
Yeah, to an extent. Like, so some of that is like, so I have a book over here again with almost within arm's reach that was written in 1986 by a guy named Dr. Daniel Tortora. And the book was actually published by Tritronics, which was the e-collar manufacturer back then. I don't think there was a second one at that point in time. I think they were the only one. I'm not sure of that. But this is a time when, you had a remote that was like a foot long and
Yeah,
an antenna that was like
like
six
a
feet
walkie-talkie.
tall.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. And the there's a wire in the collar. So like now you can trim an e-collar. Back then you couldn't because the
Mhm.
wire was the antenna that ran through the collar. So you had to
Ah,
have
yeah,
these, right?
yeah.
And this is back in time where to change the intensity level, you had to take the collar off the dog and change the contact points,
Ah, yeah.
right? And in that book, he says it's called Understanding Electronic Dog Training. And it's possible to find it online. It's not really helpful because, well, I won't get into all that. Like, but in the opening introduction, he says if you're thinking about using an electronic collar, you're probably thinking about using it to punish the dog, right? Which is certainly a use you can do it, but it's the least effective use.
Yeah.
1986,
Yeah.
1986,
Oh
right?
wow, so that was already
Yeah,
much more advanced than I used to think. Yeah.
yeah. But again, how many people were using his methods,
Yeah.
right?
I
I
mean
have some V8.
the ones
Go,
I've seen in person certainly didn't, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I have some VHS tapes that a trainer passed away and gave his whole library to another trainer,
Hmm.
right? And this trainer brought me this Foot Locker filled with VHS tapes.
Yeah.
And she goes, I don't want them. I don't know even what's on them. You take them, right? So
You
I
have a
started
VHS
popping them
player?
in.
Yeah.
I had one then, I don't now, but
Yeah.
I popped them into my VHS player. And there's this guy working this e-collar on these dogs. He's doing a seminar in a field, right? And I go on my IACP list and go, who the fuck is this guy? And it takes a while. People go, I think it's Daniel Tortora. I'm like, oh, I have a book here, but it's
Ah,
beautiful work though. It's
yeah.
beautiful work. Like he did something really interesting. He had taken the collar, the box of the collar, and he gotten a longer strap. He put it around the dog's waist, and he put the box right above the dog's tailbone.
Uh-huh.
He was using it to teach sit.
Oh, yeah.
So he'd tap, and the dog would move away from the stimulation and put his
Yeah,
butt on
yeah,
the
yeah.
ground. I'm like, and these dogs looked happy and
Yeah.
like they weren't being abused. Like this video would have been the best advertisement for e-collars
Yeah.
back then, right? But these were all gun dog trainers. Like they were only interested in making the dog get the bird and bring it back. They didn't care about any of this.
Yeah.
Um, but 1986,
Yeah.
using it as punishment is the least is something like the least effective or least
Yeah.
sophisticated use of it. Like it's just very like he was already saying you don't have to use it that way.
Yeah.
And that was a huge deal for me,
Yeah. And that
right?
also
Like
proves me wrong in thinking that that knowledge wasn't yet out there. It was.
well, but the question isn't whether that knowledge was out there, it's whether it was accessible or not,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Like how many people had access to that? Like
Yeah.
most dog trainers have never seen this book that I have.
Yeah.
And most of them have never seen these VHS tapes. Like these workshops don't exist. As far as I know, these videotapes may be the last surviving copies of these seminars.
Yeah.
Like it is possible. And I don't even know if they're in good condition anymore because I don't have a VHS player to play them in.
Yeah. I mean,
But the
probably
Foot
not. I
Lockers,
think these
the
things probably degrade over time. Yeah.
yeah. but the Foot Locker is right there. Like again,
Oh,
it's like it's in my living room. Like
yeah.
just this Foot Locker full of dog training VHS tapes.
I wonder if it's
Um,
worthwhile to like put them into another format and make them accessible somewhere.
I was just
Yeah.
thinking that I should
While they
actually
still
find
exist.
them and put them on YouTube or something. Um, because I think it is valuable
Yeah,
information. But yeah, I think like I think both camps have a lot to teach each other,
agreed. Yeah.
but neither camp wants to learn. So we're in this world where if Ivan says playing with a dog is valuable and helpful, balanced trainers will pick it up. But if Shade Weitzel says playing with a dog is valuable, they go, who the fuck is that? They don't care.
Yeah.
Right? Like it is literally the messenger is often more important than the message in the dog training world. And I think that's terrible. I
That
wish it
is
wasn't that
terrible.
way.
Yeah. And Ivan and Shade are never gonna do a workshop together.
I
I mean, I don't think they
probably
will.
yeah, well, like I mean
And it would
and
be great if they did. Like, it wouldn't it be amazing? Yeah. It
mhm.
would be a great workshop.
Well, there's another part of it, and this has to be my last thought because I do have to go,
Yeah. I'm sorry.
but but there is money in controversy,
Yeah.
right? Like I could I don't know if I could be wealthy, but I'd be a lot make a lot more money if I just got on Facebook every day and shit on force-free trainers. I get a lot more engagement, a lot more content, a lot more people come to my workshops because what they want to hear is what people don't want to learn new stuff. They want to hear that they're right.
Yeah.
They want to be confirmed in their biases.
Yeah, and they
And
want to be able to like be given a place to vent their anger. You would get so many more
mhm,
comments.
yep. Yep, but like to me, it's like that's not who I am. It's not what I want to do. Like I'm interested in improving the dog world. I'm interested in making life better for dogs, dog owners, and for dog trainers.
Mm.
And I have a vision for what that should look like, and I'm not compromising on that, which means I don't shit talk other trainers personally. I talk about ideas, not personalities. And I'm happy to shit talk ideas,
Yeah.
but not the purveyors of those ideas. I try to lower the temperature of conversations, not elevate it.
Yeah.
Um, I work hard to build bridges, not walls.
Yeah.
And the truth is that's not a real money making strategy,
I
you
am
know?
I am learning that it is not. I was thinking,
Um,
yeah, at any, yeah. I will
and
have,
that's something that I've had to make peace with. If
yeah,
I want to be wealthy, I have to betray my ideals.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
And you
I,
can.
it's not worth it.
Yeah,
Like I wouldn't be able to live with myself. So I don't betray my ideals and I'm not wealthy.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
so
No, no. Yeah, I agree with you. I had an interesting thought about this yesterday, but I'm not gonna get into that because it's gonna be another hour-long conversation.
yeah.
Thank you
I really
so
do
much
enjoy
for spending
chatting
that
with you.
time.
This has been fun both
Me
times.
too. Yeah. So I'd be happy to do it again.
Yeah, we can do
It's
it again.
very eye-opening for me, and it's so nice to have a conversation with someone who has come from the other side and experienced similar as well as different things. And I do like the rabbit holes a lot.
Like the what?
The rabbit holes.
Oh, yeah, I'm bad about that. Like
Oh, I
I have no impulse control.
love All right.
Uh,
Thank you so much. I will let you go. Is there anything you want to plug real quick?
not like I mean you can, but I have a Patreon. Feel free, I think it's my name. I'm not sure. I'm terrible at this part. Like I don't prepare my pluggables, but you can follow me on Facebook or Instagram, both under my name, Chad Mackin. And yeah, like I said, I have a Patreon too if you feel like subscribing.
Yeah, that will
Um,
be in the show notes. So I will put
okay.
that down.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, that's it. So thanks for having me. Let's do it again sometime. I really
Yeah,
enjoy it.
so much. Thank
You're
you.
fun to talk to.
Yeah. Igualmente, which is Spanish. So my language brain is running out of juice anyways.
Oh, okay.
Which
All
is
right.
okay. Have a good day,
You
and
too.
I hope your itchy dog feels better.
Thank you. Me too.
Okay, bye.
Bye bye.
Thanks everyone for listening. For Chad's pluggables, check out the show notes. You'll find him on Facebook at Chad Mackin and on Patreon at patreon.com/barkabout. Here's another piece of random info. I'm looking into organizing a trip to observe Colombia's free-roaming dogs next year. If you're interested in joining, just send me an email at caden.cristopher@gmail.com. Christopher doesn't have an H after the C. To support this podcast, check out adventuredogsanarchy.com/support or my Patreon at patreon.com/adventuredogs, where I share dog-related content as well as some more philosophical stuff. You can now also find me on Consider the Dog, where my Calling All Dogs course just launched in a new format and more content is coming. And or, if you happen to have a few minutes, leave me an Apple Podcasts review or a Spotify rating. I love, love, love getting those, and they really help spread the word about the show. Thank you all, and stay dangerous.